Hello and welcome back to the Reset Your Brain for Success in 30-Day program. And so my guest today is Pedram Shojai. Now, Pedram has not only created an incredible website called well.org, he wrote a book just recently called Urban Monk. And as you'll tell from Pedram's wonderful personality, that he doesn't want to put up with this typical do this, grab more energy, meditate and om type of personality. He is real, get to it, what's working. We can't go to the mountaintop, so we got to bring the mountaintop to us. Hello. Welcome.
Yeah, Lisa. Hi.
Hi. So tell me, what do you do to reset your brain every day? I know you do about 110 things. So start me off.
The way I roll is to make what I do not like something I have to double click on when I'm already freaked out, but to make it part of the operating system. So for me, it's really about having practices and rituals that support and enhance my being throughout the day, because you got to leave it in the tank for a rainy day, right? So I will get up and I will do a Qigong set first thing in the morning. And Qigong is the Chinese practice of energy yoga, for those of you who don't know. And what that does is it helps me pull the energy and reset my adrenals and feed energy straight to my brain first thing in the morning. I'll do a quick silent meditation. I'll look at my day. I'll see my day through the way I need it to run. And then I'll just make it so, right? Like, I got kids and dogs, and I mean, it's a circus by the time things get going. I mean, Daddy only gets about 15 minutes in the mornings. And so I'll do that, but then when I come to the office, I've got myself a standing station. So, like, I don't sit unless I'm on the floor stretching. Once in a while we have some sofas and I'll sit down and entertain a guest or something. But I'm usually outside. Every 25 minutes I will take a 5-minute break. I go outside, get some fresh air, put my feet in the grass, hang out and stretch on a tree or something, and just kind of reset, recalibrate, and then jump back in. And that's kind of like the basics. And then I'll bookend it with another Qigong practice, at least 5 minutes of stretching, and then about 10 minutes, if that's all I can get, and up to about 30 to 60 minutes of meditation in the evenings once the kids are down and all the bullets stop flying.
Yeah. I just did that. I just went and sat outside and just let the sun just get into my scalp. It felt so good. It just cooked my head for a minute. Woke back up. Now, could you show us an example, since you are standing, of what type of Qigong move that you use? I know we can't see your whole body, to pull that energy up from the earth and to align it with your spirituality, if you could.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I can just stand here and do something without moving my body at all, which is, I will always do this, by the way, because, fatigue is just a disconnection, really, from the energy that should be flowing through you. So what I'll do is, when I'm standing there, I'll slightly bend my knees, tuck my pelvis up, and just kind of drop into my quads and my glutes. Let your legs kind of hold you and support you. And then what you do is you start breathing down to your lower abdomen just to center your breath for a second. And then on my next exhale, I will push imaginary roots out of the bottoms of my feet into the earth. And then on the inhale, pull energy up those roots, up my feet, all the way up to the top of my head. And then on the exhale, I will, again, push roots a little further into the earth. And I'll do this for a few breaths and just see it going a little further and further until about, depending on how much time you have, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever, just see those roots tap into the center of the planet, and then just sit there and literally bring up from the core of the planet.
That is beautiful. Can we do that for just a minute? Is that okay? No?
Yeah.
Yes?
Yeah. You wanna actually do it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Okay. So again, center it, drop your weight into your lower abdomen, bend your knees slightly. And then on the next exhale, and then again, this is a standing exercise, so if you're seated, stand up, right? Then push the roots down here. And on the next inhale, pull energy up, like in the form of white light, up your feet, knees, all the way up to your hips, coming up your torso and your fingertips simultaneously, all the way up to the top of your head. Bask in that for a second. Now on the next exhale, push your roots a couple more feet down into the earth. And again, let's drink. Up, 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 up. Fill your body with that energy. Connect up with the energy of the earth. What helps a lot is to kick off your shoes and have your feet directly on the earth if you can, because then you're not insulating. And again, exhale a little further down. And keep doing this on your own, breathing up the body and protruding the roots. And I tell you, if I'm waiting in a line, if I have to stand anywhere, I don't get upset about people wasting my time. I'm constantly using it as an opportunity to drink, nourish, reset, and connect up with the energy of the earth, aligning the energy of heaven up with my crown, and just finding my place in the universe. And that's really where these practices come in. And it's just...
This is great. My goodness. I sit a lot, as you can imagine. I mean, I could be sitting for 3 hours sometimes from doing interviews, and it's a lot of mental up above the neck thing. Even though I work out in the morning and in the evenings, I sometimes sit 3-4 hours a day, and it's challenging.
I have to say, the statistics out there don't really speak to things being in your favor for that. Is that your average person will sit, say, about 8 hours a day at work, and the average person has an hour commute to and from work. And if you followed the Surgeon General's warning and advice and got to the gym for 1 full hour a day, it's still not enough to offset the damage from sitting on your butt all day. That's why, and I say this with conviction. I work with over 2,300 corporations at this point. They really want to know what's working, and really I just get people up off their butts several times a day, stretching, doing some squats, doing some lunges, getting the blood pumping, and we'll find that you will spend less time at the coffee pot, less time looking for sugar to wake you up, less excuses to say, hey, I need to go do something because I can't keep my brain alive, because the brain starts to shut down when the body's not moving. And that becomes a very big problem that we identify as a caffeine deficiency, and that's not what it is.
Yes, and vitamin D, by the way, too. If you can go outside, even if you live in an area that's cold and the sun is shining, you can get it right in, just like what I just did, is I got it into my crown. I needed vitamin D in through my skull. But I live in California and it's sunny all the time, so it's easier to do here.
We're sun rich. We really are.
Well, it's a little bit of an issue because it's a big drought. But so, for example, someone who sits like 10 hours a day, can you recommend they go outside every hour and just get a good dose of air?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple ways to do it, right? I mean, look, if you're in some big high rise and it'll take you 12 minutes to just get down to the lobby and get out, go find a window. Right, and just like a dog stuck inside or something, You'll see me doing that sometimes, where I'm just window, and I'm just 3 minutes just hanging out, catching some sun. Think of a plant starving for sunlight. You could have indoor plants, just have light coming in, right? We need the same thing. Now, if you can get outside, absolutely. We're talking, some of the most toxic environments we can be exposed to are indoor offices and houses and carpets and all the crap that's making people sick. So get out, get some fresh air, stretch a little bit, stretch your hamstrings, do a couple lunges, squats, push-ups, jumping jacks, whatever, and catch some sunlight. And my magic number, I'm a big fan of the Pomodoro method, which is every 25 minutes, take a 5-minute break. And that'll help your brain reset. It'll help your body just get some movement going. And you know what? When blood is flowing, it's also flowing to the brain. And it's also keeping us from just getting stagnant and stuck in things where we just forget what we were doing. It's very easy to, I got my instant messenger over here, I got my Skype over here, I got, 12 documents open over here. And it's very easy to just get batted around on Facebook and be like, hey, I didn't really get anything done this morning and I'm exhausted.
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah,
And
yeah, exactly, exactly.
taking a
So,
little
okay,
break, you just ask yourself, you say, hey, what was I doing? What do I need to do in my next thing? And so it's also course correction. It's like when you're hiking backcountry, if you don't know your marks, you could find yourself 20 miles lost before you get your bearings straight. I like to take my bearings more often throughout the day so I can get done what I need to get done. So when I go home, I don't feel like I took work home, and I could be the dad I want to be and be the husband
yes,
I want to be.
yes, exactly. So, okay, so speaking of to-do lists and goals and stuff like that, we're talking a lot about goals in this program. And I've had such an incredible opportunity to interview so many different people on perspectives around goals. So you get a lot done, Pedram. You just did a book launch for Urban Monk. You put a lot into that. What is your goal setting technique, if you will?
I've been doing this practice called a Gong for about 20 years, which originally started, I learned a Qigong set from some Qigong master, and the concept was you do this every day for 100 days without fail, and you've hit your first Gong. And it seems really easy until you miss day 7, and then you miss day 46, and it's so easy to forget. And so it burned in me this discipline of these dedicated acts of self-love. And then I started doing it. I was like, okay, I nailed my first gong. It felt really good. I'm like, well, what
Wait,
else
if
can
you
I do?
messed up on day 47, you have to start back on day one?
I did that. I missed day 46 one day. And then the next 46 days, you feel like a real jerk because you're like, oh, God, why am I so mindless, right? And then eventually you get it, and it teaches you to stay focused because the one thing we don't do is vote for ourselves. How many people have like date with honey, hang out with kids, time at the gym built into their calendar and their phone? It's all work crap, right? And so we wonder why we don't have time for the stuff that we actually value. And so I do this, and I have my dedicated things every day, but then I will look at my 1-year goal, and then I'll say, okay, what do I need to do in the next 100 days to get towards that 1-year goal? Then what do I need to hit by 60 days and 30 days to get there? And then what do I need to do every single day in order to get to my 30, then my 60, then my 100? And then every 100 days, I'll kind of like look at where I've gone, get my bearings, course correct, and then go from there. And if I don't pad in rest and relaxation and the things that actually keep me alive and well, then I'm not gonna make it, right? And so that way it lets me in these 100-day bursts move towards the things that I want to move towards and say, look, I really want to be an astronaut, but I can't do that this year, let alone, whatever. So let me punt that to next year. Let me get these things done that are on my plate, and then I'll go do that other thing. But most of us try to do everything at the same time. We set goals that are unreasonable and unattainable, and then we don't hit them and we feel like losers, and that's not the way to roll. So for me, it's about attention and intention being aligned. Most of us will bank up intention, right? And we will say, okay, that's it. It's New Year's. I'm going to lose 30 pounds. I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to do this thing. And then Betsy calls and says, hey, I'm having a birthday party, and you forget that you decided you weren't eating gluten. So-and-so calls and something happens. It's like our focus it's like it's all over the place.
Yes.
And so that's why I've realized that meditation is so important for the modern world, because what happens with meditation is it boosts the performance and the cortical density of the prefrontal cortex, which is the part of our brain which is in charge of higher moral reasoning and the negation of impulses. Okay? What do we all have trouble with is these negation of impulses, saying no to things so that we can stay saying yes to the things that are important to us in life. If someone calls me and says, hey, I'm going out with the guys for drinks tonight, you want to join me? I would effectively be saying no to my family, my wife, my sleep, my health, and all these things that are nominally important to me, but I just basically went off and did that other thing. And it's this part of the brain that goes, monkey, no, 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 you're not doing that on a school night. Get to what you said you were doing and stay focused.
You know what? That's what you call discipline and focus. I like how you don't use the word focus. You use the word something about
attention.
No, not getting distracted. What did you use? It was a good one. It was about not getting distracted. It was about, you said negative something something. What was that called?
Okay. So basically, here we'll find it again, right? Is we have focus and intent, right? that are lined up, right? So focus and willpower, and that's attention and intention. And so when you are distracted, it's like, if you had 5 plants in your garden that you needed to water, what I would do is like say, okay, like we have this much water, which is our willpower, and let's set up a drip system to make sure these 5 plants are getting it. Most of us just have sprinklers doing this, watering every weed in the garden, right? And so we diminish our willpower, we diminish our energy that we have in life watering too many plants, and then we wonder why A, we've got weeds in our life, and B, the plants that we say we want aren't growing the way we want.
Right.
And so looking at that makes, like, I take everything through the filter of my life garden when it comes in. And, look, I'm a filmmaker, I got a lot of crap going on. There's a lot of opportunities that land on my desk, and I've had to become very, very good at saying no, thank you, or maybe later.
Yes, exactly. And that's what I was talking about, is that ability to say no to the things that don't matter, yes to the things that are in alignment with your intentions, and to move forward in that direction, and very clear and very focused. And so can you tell me some of the things that you do for your brain to stay so focused? Some of the supplements, some of the teas, some of the drinks, some of the what? What do you do? Because energy is required to stay focused with our goals and focus.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I'll tell you, I'll take all the help I can get, right? Because I got small kids at home. They don't let you sleep. You just have to pad it. So I will take plenty of good fish oil. I will do meditation. I'll do brainwave audio tracks. I got all sorts of cool technology. The light device that you introduced me to.
Yes.
There's all sorts of really stuff that I use just for kind of brain health. I love Tibetan rhodiola. I love, metabolizing fats and burning, ketones to get, just kind of exceptional clarity. And I got to tell you, though, my drug of choice is movement, because blood flow is one of the things that we are all lacking to our brains. And so we're sitting there. I got all these people sitting in these stupid office chairs, mousing around, thinking to themselves, what do I need to eat to power up my brain? And the answer usually is get out there and move it a little bit, because the brain needs that flow. It needs the bioelectrical energy. It needs the plumbing to work in order for things to start firing. And there's another piece to that, which is, I went to UCLA. I've been around a lot of brainy people. I've been around a lot of top doctors. Just using your brain is so 5 minutes ago. Like, that is old news. If you're not using your body, if you're not integrating, if you can't touch your elbows to your knees and your toes, and you can't coordinate the sensory motor strip so that all parts of your body are waking up and you're testing your balance and you're doing things that challenge that, then the brain also starts to get lulled to sleep, and you start to think, oh, maybe I didn't have enough coffee this morning, right?
Yes.
So wake it up. Wake it up is really the answer, and that's my whole gestalt.
Well, you know what, I want to expand a little bit on that light device that you told me, that you mentioned. So there are so many incredible advancements these days in transformational technologies, and I'm talking about gadgetry. I'm talking about actual frequency types of technologies that are coming on the front. So many these days that it's so exciting that we can start to not have to reach for the coffees and so forth, but there's these, the light device that you're talking about literally is LEDs, strips and strips of LEDs on a pad that you can place. I put a pad in the back and a pad in the front for 20 minutes in the middle of my day, and it will recirculate my entire brain and allow it to self-regulate and focus. And I do that as if it's cold outside or if there's something like that. I love that for focus. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've learned on that front?
Yeah, so and let me qualify that by saying I was a Taoist monk for 4 years. I've traveled the world, and I've put in my hours sitting on my butt, just breathing on uncomfortable rocks, right?
Wow.
And I love that. I still do that. But let's not be Luddites about this. Technology has come a long way. I'm incredibly enthusiastic about a lot of the stuff that's coming out with LED technology and brainwave sound technology. And, look, I was one of the original neurofeedback enthusiasts, and this device in particular has really, really been supportive of that. It's really interesting altered states of consciousness that drop you directly into this relaxed state. I've also tested, I could get into an alpha state much quicker with some of this stuff. And look, I'm not saying throw meditation away, but I'm saying, look, technology's come a long way. There's some really awesome things that we've learned about that we now know work, and use it, right? It's not like the world isn't hitting you with more toxins and more stress and more stuff that is overwhelming your system. So I will layer up with any tool I can find that's supportive of a healthier flow, healthier neurochemistry, and just healthier way of being. And so, you know, that device in particular is great. It's the inline wellness system. I've really become a fan of that. My kid knows, because he'll come in, my son, he'll come in and he'll just sit with me, and I'll throw a pad on his legs or something, and he'll just chill out with me in the evenings. And he just, I don't know, it's like a honeybee to a flower kind of thing. Like, he gets it. He wants it.
It's like a cat in a window. Yeah, they love it. It's interesting. Yeah, and you can also use your meditation in those types of you know, there's a 20-minute timer, so you can take that and you can really just use that time for meditation. So what you're saying is that I love what you're up to. You're up to cutting edge technologies. We're no longer into all this, you know, diet of the week type of club. You're into things that are truly work, that you vetted out yourself, that are transformational and allow you to stay focused, or else you couldn't create a goal if you saved your life, if you were tired, and with your, you know, busy lifestyle and all the things that could pull your focus. You need to keep your body and your brain in tune, super sharp, through cutting edge technologies and movement in order to accomplish your goals. Great point. Great point.
Absolutely. And I'll layer it. I mean, I get greedy. Like, I don't have that much time, right? So I'll get an infrared sauna. I'll throw on my hollow sync meditation track, and then put these LEDs all over, and just basically be like, all right, dude, you got 30 minutes to reset, and then you go back to being super dad, or you go back to, like, you know, writing a chapter or whatever it is. And then I'll just sit there and meditate and do my breathing, and it's just like, boom, you come out of there like a butterfly out of a cocoon.
So great for someone who's in a, you know, office environment. You have a lunch hour. Instead of going out and getting food, you can get yourself a protein shake, go and do a quick movement workout, sit under the lights or the infrared, and then go back and just be ready to go. And then, you know, you eat your meal or something at night when you want to sit down for a leisurely meal. But if you need to keep your day moving, rather than getting a heavy lunch in the middle of the day and blowing off your lunch hour with that calorie intake, do something full octane. Do something that really moves your day along. Yep.
Yeah, and you know, there's a concept in the Chinese kind of alchemical systems that I think it's important to speak about here, because they come from vitalistic systems. And there's this entire kind of premise that what we do is we cultivate our energy, we cultivate our bodies. So, you know, here in the West, it's like, okay, I went to the gym, now I'm going to go have a beer. It's always this kind of like deal with the devil. We're always trying to, like, you know, just kind of get even with our sins. Whereas this other mentality is to just constantly be working to enhance and support and get stronger and better and live a longer life. And so when you look at it that way, it's just like, why would I, you know, race to Del Taco with those people at lunch? That doesn't make any sense.
Right,
I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to go for a walk with this coworker who talks about positive things. And so you are what you eat applies to a lot more than just food. It's the sun. It's the company you keep. It's all of it.
Yes, absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Pedram. You are definitely the right person to give us the assistance on how to manage your energy and your brain and your entire movement, your entire body, while you're going after your goals. And I think that's a wonderful technique as well, the gong. That's a great technique. All right, thank you so much, my friend. Go about your day, have a fantastic, productive rest of your day, and then go hug your family. Love you.
Great to see you as always. Love you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.